Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Okoyemi, and in today's video I will be showing us how to set up and host your own free VPN server on your AWS account using Terraform and OpenVPN. For this project, you'll need the following. You need an AWS account. You have a free tier account that will also serve you. You also need to install Terraform on your local machine. You need to download OpenVPN Connect client and install that also on your local machine. You need your AWS access key ID and secret access key. You also need to install AWS CLI, that's the AWS command line interface on your local machine, and configure it with your AWS access key ID and your secret access keys. Also, you need the OpenVPN Terraform script, which I have provided. The link to the script will be in the description box below. Now, this is what we will achieve in this video. Using the OpenVPN Terraform script that I have provided, we will automatically deploy a Ubuntu server and configure it as an OpenVPN access server. We'll be using the T2 Micro instance type so that we'll stay within the AWS free tier plan and avoid any unnecessary costs. We will decide on a particular AWS region where we want to host our VPN server, and our VPN server will take an IP address from that AWS region. Also, our Terraform script will automatically generate an AWS key pair file that we can use to SSH into our instance at a later time. It will also download this key pair automatically on our local machine. This Terraform script also will generate an OpenVPN user profile. The user profile will be used to authenticate on our VPN server after the server has been created. Then after all this has been done, we'll test our deployment, and at the end we'll clean up all resources we have created both in our AWS account and on our local machine. There are different situations where you will need to have your own self-hosted VPN server. One of it is if you want to bypass some geolocation restrictions where you are prevented from accessing some particular websites and you want to bypass that restriction. As a DevOps engineer, you can create your own self-hosted VPN server to access your private resources on the AWS account. There are situations where you just need a temporary connection to a particular resource online. You can just set up this self-hosted VPN, and once you are done, pull it down with just one simple command. I have prepared a detailed documentation on this whole project. The link to the documentation will be in the description box below this video. Now let's dive into the demonstration. Like I said, I have a documentation on this whole process, and a link to the documentation will be in the description box below this video. So here in my documentation, you go over to come down here now and click on this link. That will take us to the repository on GitHub, and next thing is we'll clone this locally on our machine. Click on code, copy the URL in my downloads folder, I'll create a new folder, call it OpenVPN. Open this folder, my VS Code, and then I open the terminal. And then enter git clone and paste the URL that we copied. Press enter. Our configuration has been cloned. We change directory into this folder, cd OpenVPN, press enter. For each of these files here, I explain in details how each of these files in this Terraform configuration works in my documentation. You want to come over here, click here, and go through each of the files, explain in details how each of these files, Terraform configuration files work. You can, if you want to learn more about how this Terraform configuration file works. Now let's go on. Back in our terminal, we initialize our Terraform folder, init, Terraform init, press enter. So Terraform has been initialized, and by the way, all the commands that we'll be using in this project, you can come down here over to the quick start guide. Here in the quick start guide, all the steps that will follow will be here in this documentation here. Feel free to go through it. So I'll clear the screen so that I can have more space. And I enter Terraform, apply, and press enter. Now it will request for the AWS region where you want to deploy your VPN server. For the purpose of our demonstration, I'll enter Canada Central, that is CA Central 1, press enter. So it will generate a plan showing us the various resources and parameters for each of the resources. 7 items will be added to it, and then to ask us to approve. So we type in yes and press enter. Now what Terraform will do is, Terraform, if you check looking over here, will create an AWS key pair file here, and if you notice, it appended the AWS region that we entered to the key pair file, and then using that key pair file, it will provision our server and then install OpenVPN on the server, configure the server with our user profile, and download the open profile user profile to our local machine here also. Now here the server has been created, open server creation completed. Now it's accessing the server using the key pair file and the SSH parameters, trying to access the server for the user profile, OpenVPN user profile. Once the server is ready and accessible, it will download the profile to our local machine here. Here you can see it's waiting for the OpenVPN configuration file. Once configuration file has been created on the server using SCP secure connection protocol to access the server, download. This is the user profile file name. As you can see here, it has downloaded the file here. The profile also, it will append the AWS region to the profile name, and then the configuration is complete. And now it says 7 resources have been added. Now our output is showing the next steps for us to take. And for the purpose of this, or to easily identify our server, this will be our server's public IP address, the instance ID, the KPR file name. This is this particular KPR file, the OpenVPN configuration file, this file, along with some other parameters. So with this file now, we can authenticate on our VPN server and connect to our VPN server. Here also, if we want to SSH into our server, we can use this SSH command, and it has generated this using the KPR file and the server username and IP address. So our server is ready. Let's connect to our server now. To do that, we'll download OpenVPN Connect client. I have it installed on my system, but to download that, just come over to the documentation site here and OpenVPN client. You can click here and download the OpenVPN client from here. Download and install on your system. But for me, it's already installed. I already have a profile existing. But what we do is we click to add a new user profile. Since we have a profile file, we upload. Click on upload file, browse, and now remember our user profile was downloaded here in our OpenVPN folder. So we come over here in our document downloads folder, OpenVPN Terraform, and here is our profile file. Click on open. You can specify any profile name and just click on connect. This is the user profile name that was specified here. Now our VPN server is connected, and down here you can see this is our server public IP address, the same IP address that we have here. And to confirm that we are connected to our server, you can connect, open our browser, and go to a site like what's my IP address, press enter. So here you can see this is our server IP address. So right now we are connected to the Canada AWS region, Canada Central. Here you can see this is our server IP address, and that is what we have as our IP address here. So that proves that we are already connected to our VPN server, and our internet traffic is being routed through our VPN server. Now we want to check on our AWS Console to see the resources that are created. Here on our console, come over here and select the particular region. This is Canada Central. We are here in Canada Central. Open our EC2 dashboard. To instances. And here's our OpenVPN server. So here's our public IP address. That's our OpenVPN server. That will be the server IP address that we are connected to here, and that's also the IP address that was displayed here as the output of our Terraform configuration. This is the instance ID, and that is what we have here as our instance ID. Now Let's check on the KPR file that was created. Come over here to KPS. Now this is the KPR file that was generated. Now if you look at the time it was created, this is 3:48, and that's what we have here at the time, just about that time a few minutes ago. In our security group, this new security group was created. And we have these inbound rules also created. These are the port addresses that are specified in our Terraform configuration for the inbound rules. We have the protocols, the TCP and the UDP. Now using our key pair, let us SSH into our OpenVPN server. Copy the IP address. Here I open my mobile extern terminal, create a new session, enter the IP address, specify a username. My username will be Ubuntu, and then under advanced SSH, specify a key pair. Our key pair file will be the file that was generated. Now we under downloads, OpenVPN, Terraform. These are key pair file. Open, click OK. Here we are connected to our VPN server. Now we can check the log, the installation log here. Close my terminal. Over here, this should be our installation log. Copy this log address and then check our installation log. So this is the log, details of all the installation process that was executed while the instance was being created. So if there's any error, we can SSH into our server, check the log, and be able to trace any errors. Now here in our browser, we are still connected to our VPN, and if I refresh this page, we are still here because we are still connected to our VPN server. Now if I disconnect the server here, confirm this connection, and I refresh this page, now I'm back to my local IP address. That's because I'm disconnected. So back at our terminal, let's tear down this OpenVPN server and turn on all resources. To do that, enter Terraform, destroy, and press enter. It will request for the AWS region. If you enter then there, that's Canada Central, CA Central 1, press enter. So it will give us a list of resources that will be destroyed. 7 to be destroyed. Remember there are 7 resources that were created here. And then to approve of it, type in yes. and press enter. Now notice here during the delete process, while it's destroying, it will clean up all local files that were created. Also, uh, all other resources that are created on our AWS account will be completely deleted. So as you can see here, it has destroyed the AWS regions created. The OpenVPN file has been destroyed, destroying the KPI file also, and then deleting all other resources. This is our instance ID, deleting the server, cleaning up all other resources to clean up user OpenVPN user group, security group rather, delete the KPI file, and just like that, everything has been cleaned up. Now you can confirm that on our AWS account here. Here's our instance dashboard. If we refresh, this is our instance that was created earlier and it has been terminated. We check here under the KPI file, KPIs dashboard, there are no KPIs, and then under the security group, that security group also has been deleted. Now we are still here in the Canada Central region. So in my next video, I'll be showing us how to access AWS private subnets through our OpenVPN server. So please click on the subscribe button, turn on the notification so that you can know when I release the next video. Thank you for watching.